looking ahead to Barnet, I suppose it's the start of the Christmas period, but actually the fixtures are quite well spaced out, probably much better than they are most years.
Yeah, well, I've struggled to find any dates in between other than this week we've just had. You got Boxing Day, New Year's Day, then you again. Well, anyway, I don't know whether they are more spread out, but it does seem that you still have a lot of games in a small space of time. And at the moment, of course, our squad is pretty small because of all the injuries that we've had. But we've got to get back on that bike and or the horse, as they say, and get going again. We just got to pick up a result, and we'll cut the results on the trot, and you find yourself quite near where you want to be.
And if January is a time for change, I suppose there's the opportunity for people to make sure they're not part of the change of people going out.
Yes, that's true. But January's a long month normally for a manager because things can happen on the first day of the month of January, and they can happen on the last day of the month in January. So it's not just a one day. The transfer deadline lasts a whole month. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, but we've got our ideas and we've got our targets, and of course there may or may not be people moving on.
You're pretty down after Coventry. Do you feel emotionally you've recovered after that?
Yeah, I always recover. I've been a mental home if I couldn't recover from that. And sometimes you wonder whether it wouldn't be best to do all the interviews on the Sunday or the Monday, because your emotions take over like they do, and I don't act. It's how I feel, and the lads know that, so they sort of trust that if you're angry, you're angry. You're not just making out you're angry. And the same way, if you're happy, you're happy, and they know when I'm happy with things, and they know when certain things have annoyed me because they haven't done what they've been asked to do, albeit because they can't or because they wouldn't. And there's not many that are in that category that they wouldn't. So we got to help them after that and talk to them, show them videos, show them footage of their own personal performances, which we did, the collective performance, how we was ineffective in the second half, so that they know exactly what they need to do to put it right. Because no use saying you were rubbish on Saturday, you've got to go you were rubbish because, and show them, and then get them to buy into it, agree to it, because players have got strengths and weaknesses, and more of our weaknesses came out in the second half than our strengths.
And I suppose Barnet, a very different challenge, other end of the table, completely different size of club, and they'll be scrapping for their lives.
Yeah, I think every game is a difficult game, and every team that you play, whether they're scrapping or whether they're top of the league, every team is inconsistent because that's the level we're at, and we're the same. Other than probably the two that are up there that are already, you could have said at the start of the season that those two are going to be the two that are going to be there or thereabouts because of the budget and the types of players they were able to bring in. So, we won't be taking Barnet lightly. I was on the hospital bed the last time I played Barnet, and I watched the game, and it nearly killed me because that was a poor performance as well, even though we went 1-0 up. So we've got to make sure that we get that game last season out of our heads, out of my head anyway, because I was really disappointed with that at an important time. And we've got to go there and get a result. We've got to get a result with the supporters so that they come in on Boxing Day and New Year's Day. Is it New Year's Day? Yeah, we play no Paul.
30th.
30th, yeah. Sorry, Christmas Eve.
Stevenage New Year's Day.
Yeah, that's right. But we got to get our supporters in to support the boys during the two home games. And sometimes you've got to get a win away from home to make them believe it's worth coming in. So hopefully they'll keep with us because you've got to win now, probably 3 or 4 on the trot to get where you want to be. That's not impossible, but the longer every loss now is another game you've got to win in a sequence of wins, and it makes it more difficult. So we've got to get that next win very quickly.
You said the injury list is long. Is there anyone who's coming back from that who's is into the mix this week?
Well, again, we got 2 days, and I don't like to keep giving people, like hope and then it not happening. So I think I'll just say this week that there's still a few that are 50-50, that have been 50-50 for the last 2 or 3 weeks. To be fair to Jarrell, he took quite a big whack on his shin, and in my opinion that should have been a sending off, because that was just a kick out at somebody, and the lad just got a yellow card, but it's cost Jarrell a game or 2. We got Brian with that ongoing sort of problem of the hamstring. It's just the last little bit that just won't seem to heal up 100% yet. And then the rest are basically, the rest are basically long-term ones. Lloydie still a couple of weeks because he's got the hip flexor problem. He only got that in the youth team. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. No, Taylor Moore's fine. Yeah, no, he's done. He's done well. He's rehabilitated well, and it wasn't as bad as first thought. So he should be. I'm pretty sure he'll be back.